I got a message last night about accepting your humanness. And basically, what it was telling me was that I have to get to a point where I accept the fact that while I am part of Source, in this incarnation, I am a human. And I always feel like eventually I'll get to the point where the limitations of being human will no longer apply, where I'll be able to just be happy and wonderful all the time. And while that's a wonderful thought, until we die, we don't get rid of the limitations of being human. So we do have to deal with negative emotions and all those things that are just part of being human. So basically last night, what I was dealing with was having negative emotions come up, but also the negative emotions of others bothering me. And anytime there's something in someone else that's bothering you, it's generally a reflection of you. It's something that you are not accepting within yourself. So we basically have to get to a point where we can accept our own shadow side, notice it in others, but not where it doesn't affect us. If something's affecting you that you see in another person, it's a sign that you need to do some shadow work in that area, because otherwise, if it wasn't, it wouldn't bother you. You would just be like, oh, well, whatever. Or, you wouldn't even recognize it as what you're recognizing it as. So we have to get to a place where we're accepting all of that within ourselves, but where we also can accept it, it is accepting it in other people, but allowing people to be where they are. I mean, a lot of times I've found that, it's almost this thing where you kind of feel, I don't want to say you feel above someone, but it's kind of the way you're acting. You are acting in that way where you're better at, I don't know, say controlling your negative emotions than someone else. They just always explode and just let it out. And then when you see that in them, you're kind of judging them for that. But we have to get to a point where we can allow the other person to be on their path where they are and accept them where they are, because more than likely, if you think back, at some point you were also there. Maybe not in the same, you may have not had the same reactions to things that another person has, but you had reactions to something that maybe you no longer have, or you've learned to deal with, or you've accepted so that it's not really a problem for you anymore. But we really have to allow people to get to that point on their own and to just have their own path. And just as we would want others to be accepting of ours, to also be accepting of theirs. This also reminds me of a podcast I listened to by Tara Brach. I'll put her information in the info section. She talks about arrows, and I guess this is kind of a Buddhist philosophy thing, from what I gather. I don't think she made it up, but it's the first place I heard it. And she says, when we get upset, that's the first arrow, when we're upset or angry about something. But then we kind of tend to add a second arrow when we get upset with ourselves for being upset in the first place. So it kind of becomes this crazy cycle that we go through. In any case, I think it's really important that we get to a point where we can just allow ourselves to have whatever feelings we're having. If they're negative emotions, allow yourself to be okay with that. Sit with it for a little bit and see if you can find out what the root cause of it is. But we have to come to a point where it's okay for those emotions to be there, just like we're okay with happy emotions and joyful emotions. They're all okay. It's just kind of what we do with them. So I wish us all luck in this, trying to just accept ourselves as we are. I know it's something that a lot of people are going through right now. I was talking about this with a friend today, and she said, if we're both going through this, then there's got to be a lot of people dealing with this right now. So I think that's pretty true. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning. I had to redo this a couple of times. There's a full moon today, and it's in Cancer, which is bringing up a lot of old emotions for people, releasing those. And if you just push them back down, you can't release them. You got to let them go. You got to let them be there, deal with them, accept them, otherwise. And these beautiful pictures that are in the background here while I'm talking are of one of my amethyst crystals. It's some kaleidoscope pictures I took of them. So I hope you enjoy. I would love to hear what you think about this. Love to hear if you're dealing with the same thing. So leave me a comment, and I will talk to you again soon.